there is a lot of non-duality and awakening content in the world now. I would say more than ever. Just by scanning YouTube or Instagram, you'll come across some kind of spirituality content talking about freedom, liberation, non-dual realization, enlightenment. And I would say most of this, sometimes on purpose, sometimes just through ignorance, is fueling further craving. It's fueling seeking, deep seeking, with the promise of liberation, but it never delivers that promise, because whilst it is feeding into that seeking mechanism, the consumer can never be free. I would say, as consumers, if you are taking on the role of a consumer, you can never be free anyway, because that model of consumption is based on craving. The idea that there is something, be it content or a product or a job, something in the world that my feeling of dissatisfaction will be permanently satisfied by consuming. And in the world of spirituality, it's just been coerced slightly to believing that, it's awakening or it's non-duality. That kind of desire to fill a hole, to meet dissatisfaction with the things of the world, instead of looking at the grosser things, the money, the jobs, the relationships. Maybe I'm going to find the spiritual release, the enlightenment, the freedom, the no self. I'll find the no self, wherever that is, whatever that is. I'll find the no self and I will be free forever. And it's a hide into nothing, really. Any, I would say, effective teaching on liberation, freedom, non-duality, enlightenment necessarily has to talk about the role that consumer platforms play, and these types of videos also play, in fueling consumption. If we don't do that, we're doing you a disservice, I would say. And I've talked about this before, but maybe I've not talked about it enough. I would say it's a conversation that's almost entirely absent in spiritual circles, because most successful spiritual teachers, they have a brand, a platform, a career. And actually, what use is a career where I continue to earn money to live, maybe even make a profit, if I'm actively telling people to stop doing that? It just doesn't work, does it? So there's an inflection point, isn't there? There's some incongruence. Is if, as a spiritual teacher, we build our careers on sharing truth and trying to help people to find liberation, then it's not in our interest to help people find liberation, because that cuts off a revenue stream. So maybe I can give you a bit of a taste of freedom, but actually, keep coming back. Keep coming back. One of the best ways to do that is to make endless content. Make content every single day, something to drink, something to eat, something to chew on, that gives the promise of freedom and liberation. But obviously it doesn't quite do that, because the path to freedom, the path to liberation, it's subtle, it's long, it takes time. So one video is never going to cut it. But before we've had the chance to even sit with the message of one video, the next one's out, and then the next one's out, and then the next one's out. And we're just constantly grabbing at the promised liberation. Now, it'd be nice to think that it's just accidental. We've all just fallen into this habit of consumer non-duality content creation, and it's harmless. I would say most folk out there that are sharing about non-duality, they know what they're doing. They are actively fueling your craving. I try really hard not to do that, but it takes so much kind of vigilance, really. And the reason I say that is because the entire platform, the consumer content platforms of YouTube, Substack, Instagram, they're all geared around making money from content, people consuming again and again and again. So even just as a content creator who's really dedicated to not fueling that future seeking in others, I feel the pressure of just the platform itself, all the content creator tools, all of the analytics. It's all about trying to get you to be an efficient content provider that gets regular clicks and watches. That's what it's all about. You can see how that's got nothing to do with freedom, really, has it? Like that, what I've just described, that producing more so that people consume more and crave more, it almost sounds like the opposite of freedom. I would say that's because it is, really. If spiritual teachers are going to be effective, really what we're aiming to do is to cut the cords of suffering right at the base so that people no longer feel the need for consumption. They're no longer grasping and reaching into the online world of non-duality, thinking, I need this to be happy. They are free to live life fully away from that desire to consume and live it interpersonally in life, fully embodied, fully present, with an open heart, free and engaged, letting like kindness, compassion, liberation move through them as a living expression, not day after day after day seeking the next video and the next video and the next video. But like I said, if you have a career that is centered around people consuming your content, then actually it's like the death knell to tell people stop doing that, isn't it? So actually you've got to create another one and promise, I don't know what. You can promise whatever you want, really, it seems, like total liberation, freedom from a corporeal being, radiant, glorious, unbound, no self freedom. Like, you can call it whatever you want. It's that language that keeps people titillated to come back for more. And they keep coming back for more. Of course they do, because the promise is so high, especially from somebody who seems like they're free. They seem like they're liberated. Like, look, I'm a radiant, free, unattached being of pure awareness. You can be like me. You too can find ultimate liberation. Just watch the next video. Stay tuned. Why don't you subscribe? If you become a member and give me some more money, then actually I'll give you special content which will get you the special freedom. And maybe what I'm saying and the way I'm saying it sounds a little bit cynical. That's because I think that process is cynical. I think it is doing people a disservice by not talking about the truth of consumerism and how it fuels suffering. I think spiritual teachers are doing you a disservice, because I felt that way myself by kind of feeling that something's off here. I feel like I'm being teased perpetually, like there's this dangling carrot constantly of people saying, come on in, come on in, come on in. And all the while, I'm not being encouraged to just be here with whatever's here, away from that movement of consumerism, that movement of craving. So yeah, it's a bit of a long one, this, and yeah, a free form exploration. But I would say that the current state of affairs in online non-duality and awakening is one that needlessly fuels perpetual seeking in most of the consumers that consume the content. And we necessarily need to have open, transparent conversations about this so that we can actually encourage people to find freedom.